If your child is really fighting their naps and they're pushing bedtime back later and later, then it might be time to drop their nap. I know, you want your quiet time, you want your little refresh, recharge part of the day, and truth be told, whether your child naps or doesn't, they need that time too. Instead of just dropping the nap and having your child wildly crazy all over the house all day long, we are going to talk about how you will make this transition from nap time to quiet time. First things first, you need a few things. You need to have a top clock. Now, whether it is the My Top Clock that I always recommend, or if you have a Hatch, or if you have anything else, regardless what you have, you need to have some sort of system that your child knows that it's either quiet time or it's awake time. The second thing you need to have is a list or a visual chart of quiet time rules. Now, if you click the link in the description box down below after you watch this video, you can grab this template right here and you can edit it right within Canva and make a visual rules chart for your child during quiet time. Alternatively, you could take pictures of your child enacting the rules that you have for quiet time, and you can hang those on your child's wall. So if one of your rules is to be quiet, take a picture of your child making the quiet sign. The third thing that you need to have when transitioning away from nap time is a quiet time box. Now, it can be any old box that you got in your house. I grabbed this. My kids are far beyond the age of quiet time and napping and even any resting whatsoever. But I grabbed this and I threw together some examples for you that we will talk about in just a little bit. But you see, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can just be something that is around your house that you already have. You don't need to go out and buy anything. So with that being said, what goes in your quiet time box and what is it for? So clearly it is for quiet time, but it is only for quiet time. You are only offering these activities within the box during your child's quiet time. And you might wonder why. Well, this is why. Because you only want your child to have access to these toys during quiet time or activities, whatever you choose to put in here, so that they are new and exciting and that your child's not bored with these options. Now, with that being said, you may want to rotate what is in your quiet time box. Like, maybe, I mean, it depends on your child's attention span really, but when you notice that they're starting to get bored or sick of what they have in their quiet time box, you can rotate it out. And of course, it can be something that you already have at home, but before you put it in your quiet time box, I want you to take it out of your toy rotation for a couple weeks. So this will make it new or new to your child, or they'll remember, hey, I have this old toy and I love it. So here I have these knockoff Magna-Tiles. These aren't really Magna-Tiles, but they're kind of similar to Magna-Tiles. Those are a great quiet time activity. Your child is learning and playing and entertaining themselves. I grabbed this little, this is just a bag of Lego toys. So it has little instructions. I think you can get these at the dollar store, but they come in just like a little pack where you just make like one little thing. And these are great to keep your kid occupied during quiet time. I also added a coloring book. Coloring is great for a quiet time activity and definitely helps your child calm down. I mean, like, adult coloring is such, like, it's all the rage right now. So encouraging your child to color as well, it just helps with all kinds of calmness. And then of course, books. Books aplenty. However many books your child has the attention span to look at is completely fine. And so of course, like, this isn't exactly what you need to have in your quiet time box, but things that your child is interested in and things that you can just kind of add and rotate and, you know, take things out, put new things in, and just keep that in your child's quiet time box. But you want the quiet time box unaccessible to your child. Is it unaccessible or inaccessible? I think it's inaccessible. Anyways, you don't want your child to be able to play with their quiet time box during the day when it is not quiet time. As soon as quiet time is over, you're going to take the box away. Okay, so now that you know what the quiet time box is, let's talk about the directions and the actual step-by-step of how to facilitate this new quiet time. Step one is tell your child the rules. every single day. So that's the first thing that you're going to do. The second thing you're going to do is talk about the rules again. So the first time you're telling your child and they're listening. The second time they are repeating. So yes, I know it sounds redundant. You do have to tell your child more than once because they're never gonna listen on the first time. Nobody does. Like I don't listen the first time half the time. That brings us to number 3, you want to enforce the clock. So if you're using a tot clock, you can turn it on or have your child press the button or whatever they need to do to activate their clock. And that is the start of quiet time. So your child should be part of turning on the clock or whatever, activating their clock, whatever you're choosing to use, they need to activate that. Even if you're just using a timer, they need to be the ones to activate it so they physically and mentally know that it is now quiet time. They know the expectations, they have their bin of things to do, and that's that. Now you're gonna leave the room. So step 4, you gave them the box after you had them turn on the clock. And then step 5 is to remind them of the rewards. Now we need to talk about a reward system. I'm a huge fan of sticker charts. You can grab any sticker chart off the entire internet, but let your child choose the stickers that they want to earn on their chart. If they have a successful quiet time, meaning they didn't need any unreasonable help. I mean, if they have to go to the bathroom, you gotta help your kid. If they independently had quiet time the entire duration of their quiet time, then they earn a sticker on their chart. And when they earn all of the stickers on their chart, I don't recommend doing too many stickers in a row, especially at the beginning. But as soon as they earn all of their stickers, then they can earn a prize. And generally when I have parents giving kids prizes, especially for quiet time, it should be directly associated to quiet time. So add something new that they want to their quiet time box. So that's basically it. After you leave the room, your child does quiet time for the duration of however long we decide on, which we'll talk about in a moment. If they get their sticker, then great. If they don't, then try again tomorrow. So now we can talk about some things that you need to consider. And the very first thing is the duration of quiet time and reasonable expectations. So it is not reasonable to expect your child to have this new quiet time feature in their routine and to be able to sustain independence for a full hour or 2 hours. If your child is an exception to the rule, then that is wonderful. It's great. You can, let them have their quiet time for as long as they'll accept it. But generally, you want to start with 30 to 45 minutes. Some kids can't even tolerate that much, and that's okay. You want to catch them being good. You want to catch them doing a really great job. So if that means you start with 10 minutes and they earn a sticker and then they earn another sticker the next day, great. Then you can increase it to 15 or 20 minutes. But gradually, this is going to be a big transition. It's going to take time. You want to make sure that you're adding reasonable amounts of time onto your beginning starting point I would say every maybe 4 days. It is definitely unreasonable to expect your child to go from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. But if you have a very well-adjusted, easygoing child, maybe they can go from 30 to 60 minutes, but maybe they need to bridge the gap a little bit and have a couple days at only 45 minutes. So you know your child best and just gauge the situation based on how your child is communicating, which brings me to my next point. If your child leaves the room during quiet time and they're demanding a snack or they're demanding cuddles or whatever they're demanding, then they don't get their sticker. And in that case, you still need to return them to their room until the timer is up because they need to learn that just because they don't want to do quiet time, they still have to do it. It's beneficial for everybody in the house for your child to willingly accept doing quiet time. So whether they want to or not, you need to return them to their room to finish the duration of whatever time block you have set on the timer or your clock for the week. After a really successful quiet time, make sure to have a really big celebration. That might just mean a sticker ceremony, and you can be cheesy and call it a sticker ceremony and say, you've done such a great job today. And then, you can pretend you have a microphone and say, Susie Q did such a great job with quiet time today. Introducing sticker number 1. Whatever you want to do, just make a big deal because it is a big deal. But I am a firm believer in quiet time and having some restful, rejuvenating time to be by yourself and to have your kid by themselves. Independent play is so important, and this is a great time for them to practice being able to be independent and kind of just fend for themselves for a little bit. You're giving them all the tools that they need to have a successful quiet time, and you have part of the routine, and everything will just be great. So remember to stay consistent, long live quiet time, and don't forget to grab the template for your quiet time rules in the description box down below, and keep blooming. Mwah!